Hello everyone, I just wanted to do an upgrade strategy video for Townhall 9. I've had several questions about this in the last couple of days. They wanted to know what to upgrade next at Townhall 9, and so Law Liet was offering up his base so that we could take a look at it. Since he is near max, it is a great example of a Townhall 9 and what to do next. He has obviously gotten to the top, so we'll just use this base as an example of what to do next. So, number one, your heroes and your walls. Now, there are two levels of walls at Townhall 9. They are 9 and 10. We call them Lego walls and fire spiky walls. Yes, we actually do call them that. It's silly, but it works. And they are incredibly important, especially with the introduction of siege machines. Yes, I know siege machines, Townhall 10, yada yada. But when you get mismatched in a random war, it is super important to have high walls to protect yourself from a siege machine. And then also, walls will slow down a queen with that bad AI all day long. Super important to get your walls up. They also add very, very little weight to your total war weight. If you want to know more about war weight, just leave a comment down below or message me on Discord. I can do a separate video about war weight. It is important in both random wars. So Supercell uses a war weight. It's a little bit different than leagues. In leagues, we use war weight as well, and we use that to match fairly against other teams. But again, walls do not add much war weight. Neither do heroes. Now, your heroes are what carry you through an attack. They are your highest priority in your upgrades. Your Archer Queen is a bit higher than your Barbarian King, and so what you'll want to do with your heroes is upgrade her 5 levels ahead of your Barbarian King. What do I mean by that? Well, your Barbarian King is going to come into Townhall 9 with 10 levels already. If you have upgraded properly, he will be level 10. You will get your Archer Queen. You'll want to take her up to 10 so that she matches him in hero levels, so 10, 10, and then you'll want to take her 5 more levels to level 15. She'll be 15, he will be 10. When she gets to 15, you'll want to start pushing him up to 15 as well. Now, that being said, there is an exception to that general rule of thumb. The Barbarian King, if you have enough DE to put both the Queen and the Barbarian King down at the same time, as you can see, his King is down, and he has done it correctly. She's 30, and he is 26 and going to 27. If you can put them down at the same time, do it. Absolutely do it. Because in most clans, if not all of them that I know of, I do know of one exception, but that is an exception that is very exceptional. They allow the king to be down in certain circumstances. In most clans, you cannot war with your heroes down. So if you can put them both down at the same time, your opportunities to war will go up, obviously. So get them both down at the same time, if at all possible. That being said, you do not want to put your heroes down the entirety of Townhall 9. I would recommend warring at least once a week, if not twice a week, if at all possible. So schedule your upgrades on your queen and your king in such a way that you'll still be able to war on a schedule that works for you. Because at Townhall 9 is when you start to really learn strategy for the game. Now at Townhall 8, I think it starts to open up. You've got your Gohos, your Govahos, your Lunions, Gobolo is in Townhall 8. Now all of that, plus you've got Witches at Townhall 9, which got a big buff. I highly recommend learning them. And Lalo and several other attacks that are very important to learn. So do not put your heroes down the entirety of Townhall 9. It will mess up your ability to attack, it will keep you out of leagues, it will keep you out of randoms, and essentially your leadership team will be generally kind of mad at you because you're not warring. The reason that warring is important, and I'm going to make this note because it's a highlight, it's come up very often in the past few weeks. Why is it so important to war at least once a week? You get rusty. And not only do you get rusty, your clan gets experience for people warring. And when you don't war, the clan doesn't get experience. And so, for example, Reddit 0 is level 14. If everybody was warring once a week, we would be higher. For sure, we would be higher. So I highly recommend that you, even though I'm recommending you get your heroes up as fast as possible, I do recommend warring at least once a week. I'm going to emphasize that. As a leadership team, we definitely have seen it where people will upgrade the entire time in Townhall 9, 10, 11, 12, which is great. I'm glad that you're prioritizing heroes. But when you don't war, you get rusty. And when you get rusty, it's just bad for the entire clan. It also makes you not as participatory in the clan. It's boring not to war. So why continue with a game that you're not able to play? So schedule your upgrades on your heroes in such a way that you still get to war when you want to. So maybe on a Friday night or a Saturday night when you've got a little bit of extra time, or sometime during the week when you've got some extra time. But do schedule those upgrades so that you can still war about once a week. Okay, in addition to that, you'll want to, as I mentioned, the walls, keep a builder up and available to work on walls all the time. If it is possible, I do recommend you keep 2 builders, if not 3 builders, free all the time to work on heroes and walls. Again, if you can keep both your heroes upgrading at the same time, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to war. So farm them up and then pause, and then farm them up and then pause. That way you get to still war. So you've got your heroes and your walls. Number 2, collectors, storages, drills, and your gold mines. These give you hit points for no war weight cost, or very, very little war weight cost. So you've got storages, collectors, and they give you lots of hit points, especially storages. So full max storages are some of the highest hit point buildings in the game. They are great for protecting your defenses, for protecting your DE. The extra hit points are just utterly fabulous. So take the extra hit points for the very little war weight cost and go forward with it. Now, next. Obviously, I mean, that's simple. You upgrade your collectors, you upgrade your storages, and you upgrade your drills. That's going to help you, even when you're not farming, to continue upgrading things along the way. Number 3, defenses to the max of the town hall that is lower than you, which is a very confusing sentence. I've said that to lots of people, and it's very confusing. What does that mean? So at Town Hall 9, that means get your defenses to Town Hall 8 max. Well, of course, when you upgraded, you already were max. Well, there are new defenses. There is a new air defense, there's a new archer tower, new wizard tower. All those need to get to the full max of Town Hall 8. So 1 level, if not 2 levels below Town Hall 9. So work on those. They don't add that much war weight, and yet they still give you more defense. So get the additional defenses up to the full max of Town Hall 8. Number 4. Now number 4 and number 3 are very close in importance. Get your troops and spells up that you use in war. Why war and not the farming troops? Because in war, that's where you're getting to practice for leagues. That's where you're getting to actually learn strategy and work with your team on how to become better. War will affect how you farm. War will help you farm better. So warring is incredibly important. And I've already emphasized this over and over. Get your troops up for war. It's very important for your Town Hall 9. Number 5, troops that you use for farming. Now, I am an air person, so I upgraded dragons, balloons, lightning, rage was already upgraded from Town Hall 8, and haste, which is kind of unusual. Most Town Hall 9s like ground. For ground, there is a fabulous strategy that is a Queen Walk into P.E.K.K.A. Core Dive. If you would like to see a video on Queen Walk into P.E.K.K.A. Core Dive, we can do that. Just send me a message down below and we will get that video up for you guys. This is the comp that Loliet is using. He's using this giants, P.E.K.K.A.s, baby dragons, wizards. That is the composition. That is one of the compositions that you could use for the Queen Walk into P.E.K.K.A. Core Dive. That is a great farming strategy. You've also got Gob Knife, and in my case, I'm actually using Draglunion. If you want to know about how to farm with Draglunion, I can definitely feature that video. Again, make these comments down below on what you'd like me to do next, and we will continue to make content and get these videos made for you guys. So the troops that you use in farming is number 5. Number 6 is going to be your traps and Teslas. Well, Teslas are obviously traps, but I want to make sure that that is emphasized. Teslas do count in the traps. Now, traps do not add much war weight, and neither do Teslas. And they do a lot of damage. I have seen spring traps take out an entire army. I've seen giant bombs take out 50 hogs in higher Townhall accounts. So definitely upgrade those traps as your next one. Again, not much war weight on the traps because they are obviously traps, so they don't have a lot of weight. Number 7. So you've made great progress on all of the 1 through 6. And your traps are all done. That's where you're at. You've got your heroes going, you've got your walls going, and you've made great progress on everything else. You've got a war composition. Now it's time to start talking to your war general about dropping the new defenses of Townhall 9. What is the new defense of Townhall 9? Everybody knows it is the Expo. Now, the Expo weighs a ton. One Expo by itself, I do believe, is 1,500 war weight. I'll have to double check that. And again, we'll talk about war weight in a different video. But an Expo level 1 has a ton of weight. So you don't want to drop these until after you've talked to your war general and made sure that your heroes are at the level that your clan has suggested. Now, in our clan, that is base dependent. It's dependent on how many walls you have up. It depends on the attacker themselves, their hit rate. If they're struggling with attacks, we're not going to be very likely to say, hey, yeah, it's time to drop your Expos. If you're a great attacker, yes, go for your Expos, because it's going to put you up against spaces that are quite a bit harder, because that war weight will affect where you get in the lineup, who you end up fighting. So again, it is person dependent, it is base dependent. So these Expos, that's the big one at Townhall 9. Now at Townhall 10, it's the Infernos, and Townhall 11, it's the Eagle, etc., etc. So at Townhall 9, you'll want to talk to your leadership team before you drop those. They add so much war weight. Big, big deal that you talk to the leadership team before you do that. Now, if you've already done it, it is redeemable. We've helped lots of folks get past the fact that they have Expos. It is hard though. It is depressing to not be able to 3-star your mirror. It is hard to get past that. Now, unrushing is totally possible. I don't want to make anybody feel like it's a total morale buster, but it is hard to not be able to 3-star your mirror because your troops aren't high enough and your heroes aren't high enough, and you've got Expos that are matching you to Townhall 9s that are much heavier with better walls, with better defenses, and you can't clear them. I don't want anybody in that situation, so I'm going to highly recommend, again, you talk to your leadership team before you drop those Expos. They are really cool, don't get me wrong, they do defend your base, they do protect all of your nice fat DE and Elixir, but you'll want to hold off on those because warring, again, is super important. Alright, on to number 8. Defenses. The rest of your defenses. Now again, 8 and 7 are pretty close in importance, but I do put number 7 in there as earlier because everyone wants to drop the new Expos early on. They're fun, they're cool looking, they make you look like a big fat 9. It's awesome. But again, just talk to your leadership team before you do drop those. They have lots of war weight. So on to number 8, your defenses. They go in order. And again, this is a rule of thumb. Not if there's a change to the meta, if there's something else changes, this could all change. And if that happens, we'll make a new video. But your defenses, they go in this order as a rule of thumb. Number 1, air defenses. Why air defenses early on in Townhall 9? Because early on in Townhall 9, people are using dragons, lavas, and balloons. That being said, your next one is archer towers. Why? Archer towers can take down balloons, they can take down witches, they can take down anything. Now, they are single point. So your next one is wizard towers. Wizard towers are multi. They can take down tons of balloons. They will completely wreck a Lalo. And they are just fabulous for both defending against ground and air. Next is cannons. And then next after that is mortars. This is, of course, I'm going to repeat, this is a generic guide. It's not meant as a hard and fast rule. It's only a guide. So, if the meta changes, which it did recently, we got the big buff to witches, and then they nerfed them, but even with the nerf, they're still incredibly powerful. So, the metas change. So this is a general guide. If the meta changes and it's a big enough change that it affects the way that we upgrade, we will do another video to update that. But with witches getting upgraded, getting that big buff, the 80s, archer towers, wizard towers, cannons, mortars, and then everything else. So in that order is what you want to do with your defenses. At the beginning of Townhall 9, people are going to be using air. At the end of Townhall 9, they're going to be using air and witches. That's just the general rule of thumb. This is what I'm currently seeing in the game. Early on Townhall 9, it's easy to get to lavas and it's easy to get to loons to be able to do Lalo. And most of the time, early in Townhall 9, they don't have xbows yet, especially in leagues. Now, most cases in leagues, we're taking full max, so that's another thing to discuss. But for now, 80s, so air defenses, archer towers, wizard towers, cannons, and mortars. In that order. Alright guys, I hope that helps you with Townhall 9 and your upgrade order. I hope that these videos do continue to help you. And again, thank you to Lawleet for letting us use his base. Didn't want to burn anybody's. This is just a farming base. So thank you for letting us use your full max base for this video. And we do appreciate all of you guys being willing to look at this upgrade order and make sure that you're doing it in a way that's going to really help you in war, because war is what really matters, especially in the Reddit Zero family. Alright guys, you can check out our Discord down below. Again, I will link my nick down there as well and make some other notes about this video as well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. You take care.